Here we go. Good evening. It's December 16th, 2014. Notice this meeting stating date, place, and time has been disseminated as required in the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In event of emergency, the proper method for exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase out the front door and move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in the white sheets provided in the front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the chambers to do so. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Kalbas.
Here.
Byer.
Here.
Brown.
Absent.
Armstead.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Minichinko.
Here.
Yamakaitis.
She's excused due to a personal tragedy in her family, and we wish her all the best.
Medina.
Here.
Kaczynski.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'd like to move into the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting for November 18th, 2014. I ask for a motion.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the minutes of November 11th and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Minichinko.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Abstain.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We're going to move into our presentations for Joseph LaPlaca for his service to the city. I'll ask Mayor Gabunka and Councilwoman Roshana Cosby Hurling to step down and make the presentation, please.
It's a long resolution, Joe. Joseph is what I call a professional volunteer. He volunteers for anything and everything, and he's been doing it consistently since he's been retired. And because of his efforts and hard work for absolutely no money whatsoever, Linden is a better city for it. And Joe, I just want to thank you for everything you've done. And once Councilwoman Cosby Hurling reads this resolution, you'll see the amount of volunteerism that Joe has given to this city. So Joseph, thank you very much.
Yes. Read the resolution. I'm pleased to read the resolution from my neighbor, Mr. Joe, and thank him for all of his service to our great city here in Linden. This resolution expressing the appreciation of the city of Linden to Joseph L. LaPlaca for his volunteer efforts. Whereas it was once said that volunteering is the ultimate exercise of democracy. You vote in elections once a year, but when you volunteer, you vote every day about the kind of community you want to live in. And whereas 63 years ago, Joseph LaPlaca and his then bride, Patricia, chose to make Linden their home, and since that time, Joseph has worked hard to determine the kind of community they want to live in. And whereas Joseph LaPlaca has served his community by serving with the Linden Planning Board for 34 years. Awesome. Awesome. The Linden Environmental Commission for 25 years. Chairman of the Board of Senior Council of Union County for 12 years, and a member of the Advisory Board of the Center for Hope Hospice, and as Director of the Linden Interfaith Network of Community Services. That's our Links Food Pantry. And Joseph LaPlaca was also served his faith as a member of St. Elizabeth's Church, where he served on the parish council and the choir, and whereas he is a member of the Linden Knights of Columbus, past Grand Knight, former district deputy, and past president of the Union County Federation of the Knights of Columbus. And whereas Joseph LaPlaca proudly served his country, first as a member of the U.S. Coast Guard during World War II, and then as a member of the U.S. Army. And whereas Joseph LaPlaca's work in the community has earned him numerous recognitions, including 2008 Senior Citizen of the Year. There's another one I can't pronounce, award. Say it again. The B'nai B'rith Americanism Award. And in 2014, he had the honor of throwing the switch at the City of Linden's annual holiday tree lighting ceremony. And whereas Joseph LaPlaca is the father of John, James, and Patricia, pronounce her last name? Patricia Slices, and the grandfather of 7 grandchildren and great-grandfather of 3. The mayor and council of the City of Linden wish to acknowledge the efforts of Joseph L. LaPlaca in building the type of community he wanted to live in. Now, therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the City of Linden that they express their deepest appreciation and thanks to Joseph LaPlaca for his dedication in building the Linden community, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of the City of Council, and a copy be presented to Mr. LaPlaca for permanent recognition. Thank you so very much for all of your service. Yes, you will.
Congratulations, Joseph.
Thank you. I wanted to say this. I wanted you to know that there are more people trying to get in this evening to be a witness to what just happened. And when they heard who was being honored, they all went back outside. So here we are with an empty chamber tonight. But okay, we can accept that. We can accept that. Someone said to me just recently, why have you spent so many years on the planning board? It's a thankless job. It's a tiresome job. It's a job that really and truthfully takes a lot of time. I've been the chairman for, I guess, about 28 years, and it's been trips to Trenton and just talking to different people about this city. And I say the same thing. When I came here, I adopted the city. The city's been good to us. Raised my family here. My children went to school here. The leadership that we've had for the city has been exceptionally well. And I want to congratulate our new mayor-to-be. I know that he'll continue because there was a time when he was on our board, and he made sure that the city was always going in the right direction. So I thank you. I thank you for the city. And people are saying to me, are you, what's the word I'm looking for? Retiring? No. This is just a gap in my day. The mayor approached me and he said, before he left, he would like to do this, and I accept that from him. But Mayor, I still got a couple more bones left in the legs, and
We'll use them.
3 more hairs left on my hair and my head, and we're ready to go. Okay, thank you.
Well, that brings me to the conclusion of my service for the city, and I understand there's been a resolution passed, and I asked Mr. Mayor Gabunka and Mr. Armstead to do the honors, and I'd like to ask a good friend of mine, Ed Stanch of 60-some years we've been friends. We were on the same Pee Wee team, the Leo's Meat Market. So that's how far we go back. And Ed, would you come up?
I could probably talk for about an hour about Jimmy Moore and the relationship that we've had over the years. Over 25 years ago, when I first got into politics, I read a little article in the paper, and it talked about the possibility of John Gregorio returning to office. And I made up my mind on Elizabeth when I read that article. I was on jury duty. I said I was going to figure out a way to get on that ticket. And came back and had an interview, and unfortunately I was told that the seat had been filled, he had somebody. But unbeknownst to me, there was a gentleman in that back room working tirelessly, and he kept saying, "We got to have the young guy. I want that young guy. I got to have somebody I can talk to." And he somehow cleverly managed to get me on the ticket. And we talked about a lot of things that year, and we even talked about one day he and I running for mayor and council, and I thought that him being a senior guy, he'd be running for mayor and I'd be running as his council president. But some years later, I pulled him out of retirement, and he ran with me when I ran for mayor as a council president, and we finally got a chance to serve together 4 years ago. And you know, this man is not just a council member and a colleague. You know, I love him like a brother, you hear me? And I'm honored and glad I was able to serve with him. And I'm going to miss him on council, you know, but he's still a good friend, and I'm going to see a lot of him because he always comes by the house, and my kids know him as Uncle Jimmy, you know, so he's like an extended member of my family. And for those of you who don't know, if you ever see these little ice cream trucks riding around called Little Jimmy, well, Jimmy's father was the original owner of Little Jimmy. He named it after Jimmy Moore. So that's trivia, you guys. So now you know Little Jimmy, that's Little Jimmy. Okay. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to read the resolution. I think the letters are big enough. I somehow can't find my cheaters. Oh, here they go. I'll put them here. This is a resolution honoring James D. Moore for his outstanding service as President of Council. It says, whereas James D. Moore is concluding his term of office as President of Council of the City of Linden on December 31st, 2014, and whereas James D. Moore was elected President of Council in November 2010 and began his service to the residents of the City of Linden on January 1st, 2011, and whereas as President of Council, James D. Moore has worked hard to shape the structure of government for the benefit of all Linden citizens and has many accomplishments as the Council President, and whereas James Moore worked diligently to provide access to the City of Linden television programming to subscribers of both Comcast and Verizon services, and whereas Council President Moore also worked with the Linden Library to establish an archive of the video recordings of the Linden City Council meetings and other official video recordings for the purpose of historical preservation, and whereas his dedication and commitment has earned him the respect of his colleagues on his council, and whereas President of Council James D. Moore has discharged his duties with great diligence, compassion, diplomacy, and faithful dedication to the residents of Linden. Now therefore it be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Linden that President of Council James D. Moore be and hereby is thanked and congratulated for his years of distinguished public service to the residents of Linden, and be it further resolved that the resolution be entered into the minutes of the Council of the City of Linden, and a copy be presented to the President of Council, James D. Moore, in recognition of the foregoing. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, City Council, for the resolution. I do remember the time Derek and I sat down back in 1990, and we ran together, and I ran for the 10th Ward, and I won, and Derek lost. And 3 years later, we would have run again, and resources went to his campaign, and Honorable Mayor Gabunka ran a very clean campaign, and I lost to him, and I decided to go back to the Pro Board and mind my own business. The mayor stayed on, and he did tremendous things for the city, and I worked with him as City Council President, and he puts 10 hours a day in, 5 days a week. I was just amazed by the knowledge that you did, Mayor, and how you brought me in and you showed me what was going on. I was totally impressed by you. It was an honor to work with you. So thank you, everybody, and I'm glad that the City Council worked on cable. I felt sitting in the audience prior to getting elected, it didn't work so well. We had surveillance cameras, and we found out that we had some money put away for cable TV, and it was a beef of mine, and I'm proud that we did that over, and now everybody could ever see what we did for the last 4 years. So thank you all. And I'd like to ask my councilman from the 10th Ward, Adam Kaczynski, to step down and be honored by the Mayor Gabunka and Mr. Armstead.
As mayor of the city of Linden, I really consider this an honor to present this resolution to Adam Kaczynski. As everybody knows, I've been a former 10th Ward council person. Council President Moore was a former 10th Ward council person. And Adam Kaczynski picked up after we left off. And I haven't seen a more dedicated individual that spent a lot of his time trying to better this ward and this city than Adam Kaczynski. And I know his wife Charlene spent a lot of lonely nights while he was in City Hall doing city business for the benefit of the 10th Ward and our great city. And therefore, Adam, I would like to present you with this resolution honoring you for your dedicated service in appreciation of everything you've done. And Derek, would you please read this in his honor?
Resolution honoring Adam Kaczynski for his dedicated service as councilman of the 10th Ward. Whereas Councilman Adam Kaczynski is concluding his term of service as councilman of the 10th Ward on December 31st, 2014, and whereas Adam Kaczynski was first elected to council of the 10th Ward in November 2011 and began his service to the residents of the 10th Ward in the city of Linden on January 1st, 2012. And whereas Adam Kaczynski has served on numerous councilmatic committees and chaired various committees including the Construction Code and Lighting, Fire, Employee Contract Negotiations and Labor Relations, Real Estate and Cable TV, and the ad hoc committees on reconstruction and consolidation of departments and revenue enhancement, redevelopment, among others. And whereas his dedication and commitment has benefited the citizens of the 10th Ward and those of the city of Linden in many ways, and has contributed to the efficiency and the operations of Linden government and to improving the quality of life for Linden residents. And whereas Councilman Kaczynski has discharged his duties with great diligence, compassion, diplomacy, faithful dedication to the residents of the 10th Ward. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Linden that Councilman Adam Kozinski be and hereby is thanked and congratulated for his years of distinguished public service to the residents of the 10th Ward in the city of Linden. And be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the minutes of the council of the city of Linden and that a copy be presented to the 10th Ward Councilman Adam Kozinski in recognition of the foregoing. Adam, thank you for your service.
Mayor, thank you. It's a little odd being on this side of the podium, but I just want to thank my fellow councilpersons and mayor for this very unnecessary recognition. It was an absolute honor serving the residents of the 10th Ward and representing the city of Linden. It was my goal not to ever bring any kind of shame or disrespect to the city or the people that I represent. I want to thank the residents of the 10th Ward for giving me that honor, but that honor is not in the title of councilman or even winning an election. Instead, that honor is being given the opportunity to help people. It's truly, I would say, the opportunity to help, and that role being that individual, to be there when somebody reaches out and maybe has nowhere else to go and asks you for help is truly, truly, truly a humbling experience, and it's something I'll never forget. And I would also like to thank those hardworking city employees and department heads who helped me assist these residents. Without them, a lot of the services provided would never happen. And I'd like to thank my family, and in particular my parents who started my love for Linden, and my brother who still continues to live it. And speaking of help, without God, my wife Charlene, I couldn't have performed in this position as I did. They were my help and support when things became overwhelming, and I wouldn't be standing here without them. So with all my heart, I can say thank you to Charlene and that I love you. And thank you very much, everyone, and God bless.
Thank you, Adam. I'd like to have a presentation for Mayor Gabunka. Ask Councilman Armstead to step down and make the presentation along with myself. I get the honor to present this resolution to the Honorable Mayor. I'm going to miss him, and for a guy that beat me, I never thought, you know, he's a hell of a guy. Councilman?
Well, I'll just say, add to that, you know, having served with this mayor has been nothing more than a joy. I mean, we've agreed on a lot of issues in this town, and we've honestly tried to move the city forward. And, you know, I will defer to him for advice because I tell you, he really understands the job and he puts a lot of time into it. And he's always assured me that when the election, during the election and after the election, he said, Derek, no matter how this turns out, you can always give me a call and I'll be more than glad to give you a hand. And that's something I appreciate because you don't often get that in politics. You get people in these races, they get bitter and they hold grudges, and they hold these grudges for life. But that's something that he and I agreed that we'd never do, is hold a grudge. And I really appreciate the guidance that he's been providing over the last month and since he's been mayor. I mean, we've always gotten along, we've always agreed that the city of Linden comes first, and that's what I like about Mr. Gabunka, Mayor Gabunka. So without any further ado, I'm going to read the resolution honoring him. Resolution honoring Richard J. Gabunka for his dedicated service as mayor of the city of Linden. Whereas Richard J. Gabunka has dedicated his adult life to serving the citizens of the city of Linden. In 1968, he joined the Linden Police Department, from which he retired as a captain of detectives in 1994 after 26 years of service. Whereas Richard J. Gabunka was then elected to office as a councilman in the 10th Ward in November 1993 and began his service to the residents of the 10th Ward and the city of Linden on January 1st, 1994. And whereas Richard J. Gabunka was subsequently elected mayor of the City of Linden in November 2006 and began his term of office on January 1st, 2007, and was elected to a second term beginning on January 1st, 2011, and whereas Mayor Richard J. Gabunka is now concluding his 20th year of service to the citizens of Linden as an elected official in the City of Linden, and whereas during his tenure on the City Council, he served on numerous councilmatic committees, including the Linden Landfill Committee, Scout and Government Committee, and the Negotiations and Labor Relations Committee, as well as numerous other committees, and whereas during Richard J. Gabunka's term as mayor, the citizens of Linden have benefited from his dedicated leadership in many ways, including the successful start of the Southwood Avenue redevelopment project, Linden Greenway, Hawk Rise, as well as negotiating the start of numerous other development projects that will benefit the City of Linden in years to come. And whereas in addition to his official duties as mayor, he has also dedicated his time to community organizations as an active member, such as the Linden Citizens Association, Loyal Order of the Moose, Lodge 913, Linden American Legion Post 1397, Martin Danowski Marine Corps League, and John Russell Wheeler Post 1397 of the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And whereas Mayor Richard J. Gabunka has dedicated his duties with great diligence, compassion, diplomacy, and faithful dedication to the residents of Linden. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the City of Linden that Mayor Richard J. Gabunka be and hereby is thanked and congratulated for his many years of distinguished public service, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of the City Council of the City of Linden, and that a copy hereof be fittingly presented to Mayor Richard J. Gabunka in permanent recognition of the foregoing. Thank you, Mayor Gabunka, for your service.
It's hard to believe that I've been in Linden politics for 20 years. Starting out with Derek, we ran together. He ran in the 4th Ward. I ran in the 10th Ward, and we both won, and we both served as rookies on the governing body. And as Derek says, we accomplished a lot together. And I'd say 98% of the time we agreed on the issues that were presented in front of us. That's why I'm proud that I am turning the baton over to Mayor-elect Derek Armstead. He's a man that I know will serve the best interests of the City of Linden, and he will work hard to make sure that we move forward in the right direction. I probably couldn't have been at a worse time to be mayor than the 8 years I spent. We were in the greatest recession since the Great Depression. We had to survive Hurricane Irene, the Halloween snowstorm, Sandy. But we got a lot of good things starting to go forward in this community. We got the Southwood Avenue redevelopment project that's going to transform the whole Wood Avenue shopping district. We got the condos on the other side of the railroad trestle. We got Goodman Bircher developing 143 acres of the old ISP property. DuPont's 98 acres is now up for sale. I've been told just this week that 38 acres of the old American Cyanamid property has a suitor that's ready to purchase it. So we have a lot of development that's going to happen that's going to bring reoccurring revenue back into this city, because yes, we've had some fiscal problems over the years, and that's why it's so important to get business to give that reoccurring revenue so that the residents of Linden have tax relief. And that's what's going to happen in a few years. But you need somebody to drive that private development. And I know that when I turn the baton over to Mayor-elect Derek Armstead, January 1st, he's going to drive that development. And his next 4 years, I guarantee you are going to be successful in all the developments that come on board. And Linden is going to go back to that infamous statement made by my predecessor, the way we were, with quality development, with low taxes, and with a great community. So it's been an honor, it's been a privilege over these last 8 years as mayor and the 12 years as councilman in the 10th Ward to serve the residents of Linden. It's something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, and I know that under the leadership of the Mayor-elect Armstead and the current governing body, that we are going to have a very successful city in the very near future. Thank you again for everything you've done for me, for the help, the support, and all I ask is please do the same for the new mayor when he takes office January 1st. Thank you very much.
As many times I've been up there, we forgot to turn the podium around, and Councilwoman has filled in to do that. I want to thank you. And if everybody would look up on the wall at those distinguished mayors, there's a spot there for our Honorable Mayor, Rich Kabunka, who will have his portrait done, and will be back next year, and will be hanging on the wall with the other great mayors we've had. So he'll be here forever. We're going to move into ordinance on hearing. This is the date and time established for a public hearing on ordinance on hearing. We'll start with 5871.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, 7-33, Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A, Handicap Parking on Street shall be amended, add 44 West 12th Street, 630 Morningside Avenue.
Mr. Clerk, has this ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion.
Yes, Mr. President. I ask that the hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted, and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5872, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 31 zoning shall be amended as follows. Amend 31.3 zoning district and zoning map, add to 31-3.1 zoning districts, RPZ runway protection overlay zone.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
Yes, sir.
Is there any-
Honorable Mayor, Council President, council members, ladies and gentlemen, the Planning Board met on December 9th and reviewed the above ordinance 58-72 and finds that it is consistent with the City of Linden Master Plan. Very truly yours, Joseph J. LaPlaca, Chairman, Linden Planning Board.
Thank you, Planning Board. Is there anyone in the chambers wish to speak on this ordinance? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion.
Yes, Mr. President. I ask that the hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted, and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski,
Yes.
Midachinko,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5873.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 2, Administration, Article 3, Organization of Government, Section 2-7.2, Committees. Delete Section 2-7.2, Committees of the City Council in its entirety, and add a new 2-7.2, Committees.
I'll ask for a motion to table this.
No, we have to have the public hearing first.
Public hearing. Questions from members in the chamber? I apologize. Seeing none. Motion to table, please.
Mr. President, I move that we close the public hearing, and I move that we table this particular ordinance until further notice.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. On 5874, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-42, Parking Fines, 7-42.1, Fines established shall be amended as follows. Amend temporary parking prohibition for snow plowing and removal, fine $100. Emergency no parking, fine $100.
Thank you, Ms. Clerk. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has there been any written communication received?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to ask that the hearing is closed and ordinance 5874 adopted. I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5875, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $1,035,000 for the upgrade of lighting in Memorial Park for and by the City of Linden in the County of Union, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $983,250 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Has this ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has there been any written communication received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I move that the hearing be closed and ordinance number 5875 be adopted and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Medina.
No.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you, sir. We'll move into the consent agenda. All
Excuse
items.
me. Wait, hold on. John, is that?
Question?
Yes, it's approved. Yeah.
Mr. Medina?
I'm sorry?
You had a question, sir?
No, I do not.
You good? Okay. All right, we'll move into the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the city council and being acted in one motion. Be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. In the event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in the normal sequence on the agenda. We have items 1 through 9. Does anyone wish to remove an item? Am I right? In the center? On my left? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion on the entire consent agenda.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept items 1 through 9, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Move into committee reports and comments from members of the governing body, and we'll start with Councilman from the First Ward, Chris Colibus.
Thank you, Council President. From the Office of City Clerk, the following licenses, permits, transcripts issued in the City Clerk's office during the month of November 2014, and fees received have been turned over to the municipal treasurer of the city of Linden. Total transactions, 293. City revenue, $3,341.45. And state revenue, $425, with a grand total of $3,766.45. From the city clerk's licensing division, it is submitting this monthly report for the month of November 2014. This office issued 36 dog licenses and 29 miscellaneous licenses and collected $1,533 I'm going to read the engineering report first. All engineering projects are complete with the exception of the 2014 state aid job. The concrete work on Middlesex Street, East Curtis Street, and DeWitt Street is complete. Because of the cold and weather, plus a welding shutting down in Linden asphalt plant, the engineering department has suspended the remainder of the project, which also includes DeWitt Terrace, Elmwood Terrace, Park Avenue, until this next spring. All streets that had construction will be made safe for pedestrians and vehicles. For First Ward residents, especially the residents of First Ward in the First District from St. George Avenue to Raritan, this includes Summit Terrace, Morningside Avenue, Academy, DeWitt Terrace, in the First Ward. I'm sure you received your garbage can receptacle. There was a letter that was attached to the receptacle. I'm hoping in the next couple of days a letter was sent out in the mail explaining the new garbage collection schedule. Remember, from that First District of the First Ward, from St. George Avenue to Raritan Road. In this letter are detailed the new collection schedule. If you have any questions, concerns, which it could, I'm sure you will, I could be reached at 908-925-5568, and I will explain it more. Again, my number is 908-925-5568, because if it seems confusing, it might be, but I hope if you call or email me that I can explain it further. In regards to Councilman Yamakaitis, I want to offer my condolences to her family and to her for the passing of her mother. On retirement front, I want to say congratulations to Fire Chief Joe Rizzo on his retirement. I appreciate everything he has done for me. I had the privilege of serving on the fire committee many years over the last 8 years, and it was very informative. It was great working meetings, and one of the only committees that I worked on that he actually provided coffee for us at the meeting. So I really appreciate that, and water. But again, thank you, Chief, and I congratulate you on your retirement. Council President Moore, I want to say I wish you the best on your future endeavors. It was interesting to know you over the last 4 years and working with you, but again, much appreciated all the work, all the times we spent here on council, and again, I wish you well on your future endeavors.
I enjoyed working with you on cable TV.
I appreciate it. And you say I have great ties. I say you have the second best ties here.
Thank you,
Council.
sir.
Okay. Councilman Adam Kaczynski, when he first started this, if you allow me to use the pun, I didn't know him from Adam. I actually met him on his election night in that November, and we talked. And over the last 3 years, I have to say he's become a really good friend of mine. We talk constantly about city issues. We've served on many committees together, and I appreciated his insight, and I appreciate his insight on what we did. I think we had a great working relationship, and our initiatives that in the communities that we're in, and not even the communities, and just in the council in general, you're going to be greatly missed. And again, everything you do, I'm sure you're going to do great at it. And again, thank you for everything, and thank you for our friendship, first and foremost. And for Mayor Grabunka, 8 years ago, when Mayor Grabunka was elected, I was actually elected that night as well. I mean, that's kind of an afterthought, but that's okay with me, because I like living under the limelight. But over the last 8 years, I'll never forget Mayor Grabunka, when I was running, he said, I can't support you, but if you win, I'll work with you. And I think he did, and I would say 100% held true to his word. Anytime there was a problem or issue that I had, I called him up. And anytime he thought of a problem or he knew of a problem that was coming, he notified me immediately. And I think, politics aside, we had a really, really good working relationship. I mean, the things we have accomplished over the years, I'm proud of him, what he did. I'm proud of all of us on the council, what he did. So, again, Mayor Grabunka, I appreciate all your help, your friendship, your guidance in this, and I will miss you, But I know, retirement, I'm sure is blessed at this point, after all the civil service you served as a policeman, councilman, and mayor. And again, my gratitude for the citizens of Linden, and I wish you the best. Thank you. This concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Byer?
Yes, Mr. President. I have a letter from the PSC&G. It's one of these letters, good news, bad news. Good news is, as part of the Wood Ave streetscape project, PSC&G is proposing we replace the existing high-pressure sodium lights with LED lights on the decorative poles for an increased visibility. The LED lights will reduce our electric bill by $1,401.48 per year. Now the bad news. The bad news is PSC&G foresees a 15% increase per fixture for the year, January 2015, and there'll be no labor costs for installing the new lights. The construction code has issued 174 permits and 14 certificates. They have collected $104,658 for the month of November. I have, in the second ward, we had new sidewalks going in and new aprons on people's driveways. It had nothing to do with the city of Linden's work. It was the gas company. So people out there are saying, when are my sidewalks getting done? When's the city going to do it? They're going to be done in the spring by the city. These sidewalks are being done by the Elizabethtown and Gas that put new gas lines in, broke people's aprons, broke people's sidewalks, and replaced them. And they did a very good job, by the way. And also, I'm having some complaints about people not curbing their dogs. People are starting to rake their leaves up, and they're finding things in the leaves when they pick it up, things they don't want to find. So would you please curb your dogs? There is a penalty, up to a $500 fine. Some of these people are going to track you down, find you where you live, and they're going to have the police knock on your door. They're very serious, and they're taking it seriously. And I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and thank Jim Moore, Adam, for all the help you gave me in the last year when I came on. They were very helpful. Just like the mayor, I'd like to thank him for all the help he gave me whenever I called his office. His staff and himself were always there to help and answer any questions that I had. And I want to wish you all luck in your, whatever you do in the future. And that's the end of my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Armstead.
Yes, Mr. President, I have the following report. Approval is requested for the following financial actions. 1, the payment of bills totaling $2,427,156.58. The bills have been signed by the mayor, council president, and finance chairman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. I move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski? Yes. Medichenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Just going to briefly echo the sentiment of all my other colleagues and wish Councilman Adam Kaczynski, Councilman President Jimmy Moore, and Mayor Gabunka the best as they move on with their lives and their careers. I'd like to wish everybody a happy holiday and everybody a safe and healthy holiday. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Cosby Hurling.
Thank you, Council President. From Transportation and Parking, I hereby submit the monthly financial report from the Division of Transportation and Parking. This report includes the collection of parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits for the month of November 2014, which was submitted by Tyrone Gibbons, Transportation Supervisor, for a grand total of $45,396.79. I'm going to keep my report brief because we're going to be back here on December 30th for another meeting, so I'll make more comments then. But I would like to thank the members of the Fifth Ward community who came out. I want to thank Council President-elect George Alvarez for his help. I want to thank See and Learn Literacy Foundation for their book giveaway. And we did a Santa, which is like the 9th year we've done Santa. And we had lots of children from all over the city. They came, they made crafts, and it was a good time. And Special thanks to the Recreation Department for making sure the room was set up the way we wanted it, and everything went according to our plan. So I want to just say thank you to everyone who came out or contributed to that. The concrete, as we were told by the engineering chairman, is on hold now until the spring, so whatever maintenance needs to be done to your sidewalk for trees that were damaged, city trees that were damaged, won't pick up again until the springtime. And I want to give my condolences to Michelle Yamakaitis and her family for the loss of their dear mother, and also give an update in my ward that the investigation is continuing, and we have some strong leads. Some people know and some don't know that there was a shooting in the 5th Ward, and a young man ultimately lost his battle with his injuries, a young man 16 years old from Roselle. But I have confidence in our police department, and Mayor Gamunka updated me today that, they are leads and they're following them closely. So, I hope that the Julian family can have some solace in the fact that our police are diligently working to find the assailants in that attack. Want to congratulate all our retirees that are on the list. There are a lot of people retiring on January 1st, and they will be missed. Malika in Treasury, I call you Malika, you know that. And her name is Melissa, I think they pronounce it that way, but I like Melissa. And Kathy. And a special thank you for your many, many years of service to the chief, right? He's a handsome dude over there, and he's done a lot for our city. He's very helpful, gives a lot of insight, lots of information, and he's always the department head that is giving, the one that is used as the example of what is a good department manager. Not that everybody else is not good, but the chief is great. So thank you for your service, and you will definitely be missed, and we look forward to your replacement. Mayor Gabanka. This guy, 8 years ago, I worked with him to get him elected, and whatever transpires, politics are what they are, he served our city the best way he knew how, and I appreciate your service. And you told me you're going to miss me, so I'm telling everybody what you said. I'm going to miss you too. And Adam, good luck to you in everything that you do. Don't go away. I want to see you still come to council and fight. Work with your newly elected councilwoman so that the 10th Ward can stay strong and move forward. And Jimmy Moore, I'll see you, buddy.
All right.
It was
You
good
always
working
help
with
me
you.
out here. You always help me out here,
I
giving
know.
me little
I'm sorry.
clues.
I'm sorry. In the 5th Ward, if you need me, if you have anything for me, any questions or concerns, please call me, 908-477-4120, or send an email. And just one last thing, Mr. Wasco, I did get your email. We're going to change your handicap sign, and we'll get the new garbage schedule out as soon as it's available. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Sadowski.
Okay, first I want to thank Mr. Moore. I just busted my glasses, and he's lending me his, so
So I can't
it's going
say
to be
that.
short, so I can't see. Okay, first, the business administrator, we are on that committee. It is starting to roll. Actually, pretty soon we'll be sending out letters to get people to apply, so that's in the real near future. It is coming up. If you can see the Capadaglio apartments by Sixth School, they are going up real quick. They'll be finished pretty soon. Across the street, on Wood Avenue, in the LJ Aluminum lot, there is a proposal to build 3 stories, one on the bottom, businesses, and on next to housing. Parking is supposed to be taken care of. This is just at the beginning, but we are starting to develop that area. The Blue Acres homes, I'm talking mostly Emma Place, is going strong. Residents have been having their meetings. Pretty soon, they will be coming up with the final amounts. The people then will have a decision whether to make it or not. Councilman Minichenko will talk more about that later. If you noticed in the 6th Ward, especially by St. Teresa's, we just had tree planting, a whole bunch of homes. I went around in the ward. It was done very well. If not, people have called me up, they are coming back to straighten the ground out, but I forget how many trees were planted. So if you were missed out, you'll probably be in for the spring planting. People, we still have problems with the oil train, the noise and so on. If you have any problems or questions, please, I mentioned this last time, call up Mike Fesson at 201-239-3248, or his cell phone, which is 219-406-9720. We had a meeting with him. Call him up anytime. He says he has been getting calls. So please, maybe we can get something done. Also, we have some good news for the people around Emma Place, out that area. It is just starting. An application process for a grant from the state for about $729,000. It is to set up floodgates, to clean the sewers right around Emma Place. If we do this, it's a grant, we will be helping out the flood situation. But that's just in the talking stage. I just want to say thanks to the people who are leaving. Adam, thank you for your help that you've given me. Mayor Gabunka, thank you very much. Jimmy, you have been sitting next to you, especially with the glasses. Thank you. I'm trying to think of anyone else. Also, at this time, I'd like to give my condolences to Michelle Yamakaitis and her family for the passing of her mother. This is a tragedy, but I guess everyone has tragedies, but it's a bad, bad time to have this. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm coming to the end. If you have any kind of problems or suggestions in the ward, please give me a call at 908-862-0749. If I missed anyone, please accept my apology. Joe, I see you there. Good luck. Where am I going? Well, I don't know, Joe, but you're always going somewhere. And please have a happy and safe holiday. Thank you. That concludes it.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Minichenko.
Thank you, Council President. It's a tough act to follow there.
Glasses.
As Bob mentioned, we're still getting many calls on the oil train. We did sit down, Councilman Sadowski, myself, Mayor Gabunka, there was a representative from Norfolk Southern and ConocoPhillips, and most of the complaints we heard is about the train whistle, when the safety gate's going to be installed, the unhooking in the island of the train. As far as the whistle, the conductors were told, don't blow the whistle when especially late at night, but it's just force of habit, and they're just trained to do it that way, and some of them do it, some of them don't. It's just hit or miss with them. As far as the safety gates, that's put on a fast track. They're supposed to start installing them sometime in January. All the parts are ordered. Usually takes up to a year, but they fast track this one, and hopefully that's done by the end of January, because I had a few complaints with some near misses, people coming around the curve there, and the engineers not putting out their flares. So, as far as the unhooking and the idling, there's really nothing we can do about that. I mean, you have to unhook the trains, and then when they hook the trains back up to take it away, it takes about a half hour or so for the air pressure to build up. So that's the reason why the truck, especially behind Smith Street, the locomotives are there idling. So it's really out of our hands. It's more of just building up the air pressure. So we're working on that situation. So hopefully we can rectify that. Councilman Sadowski also mentioned about the Blue Acres program, a little more insight on that. I'm in constant contact with Ann Wolf from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. And if you didn't have your appraisal done anyway, the 6th and 7th Ward residents that are part of the program, it should be completed this week. By the end of the month, all the appraisals should be sent to the state for their review. And by the mid-January, the residents should get their offer. And the closing dates, if you accept the offer, should be sometime probably the first week of April. And if you happen to appeal your appraisal, then it can take up to another 6 weeks. With that said, I'd like to congratulate all retirees. Chief Rizzo, congratulations, you're here. I'd like to say thank you to our 10th Ward Councilman, our Council President, our Mayor. It's only been a year, but it's been a pleasure working with you guys. You taught me a lot and helped me out all I can do, and for that I thank you. And on behalf of the 7th Ward residents, I also would like to extend my condolences to Michelle Yamakaitis and her family, and also Councilman Moore for this past weekend. He had lost his mother-in-law. I'd like to extend our condolences also.
Thank you.
With that, I'd like to tell everybody to have a happy and safe holiday coming up. Be safe, enjoy. And if any of the residents have any concerns, you can reach me at 908-862-6265 or mminichenko at linden-nj.org. End of report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Medina.
Yes, Council President, I do have a Personnel Committee report. Number one, in the Office of the Mayor, the appointment of Rebecca Totoli, effective December 31st, 2014, as Secretary to the Mayor at the rate of $42,500, prorated, subject to the successful completion of a background check and the pre-employment exams. Number two, in the Office of the Mayor, the appointment of Renee Banks, effective December 31st, 2014, as the confidential aide to the Mayor at the rate of $52,500, prorated, subject to the successful completion of a background check and pre-employment exams. Number three, in the Police Department, the reassignment of Sandra Grunder from telecommunicator team leader to telecommunicator operator at the rate of $49,849 prorated, effective December 17th, 2014. Number four, in the Police Department, the reassignment of Michael Palladino from telecommunicator operator to telecommunication leader, effective December 17th, 2014, at the additional stipend rate of $1,500 per year, prorated. Number five, the approval of FMLA/NJFLA and unpaid sick leaves for the following personnel. Employee number 107463, FMLA leave from 11/24/14 through 12/3/14. Employee 91144, FMLA leave from 12/10/14 to 12/19/14. Employee 100315, intermittent FMLA leave from 9/25/14 through 12/15/2014. Number six, the approval of the DPW seasonal list, which is on file with the clerk's office. Number seven, in the Department of Public Property and Community Services, the acceptance of the resignation of James Streeter, effective November 3rd, 2014. Number eight, in the Department of Finance, the leave of absence for Alexis Zack from her permanent civil service title of accounting assistant for the period of December 31st, 2014 through December 31st, 2015. Number nine, in the Department of Finance, the permission for Diane Menzel to carry over 2.5 vacation days from calendar year 2014 to be utilized no later than April 1st, 2015. Number 10, in the Department of Finance, the reassignment of Janice Brown from the part-time assignment with the Office of the Mayor to the Department of Finance, effective December 31st, 2014. Number 11, in the Department of Public Properties and Community Service, the acceptance of the intergovernmental transfer of John Whitell from the Linden Board of Health to the Division of Public Works assigned as laborer at the rate of $51,096 prorated, effective December 31st, 2014. Number 12, in the Police Department, the appointment of Candace Guerra as a Clerk 1, effective December 31st, 2014, at the prorated salary of $34,548. This is a replacement of a retiree. Number 13, in the Department of Public Property and Community Services, the permission for Joseph Capolet to carry over 9 vacation days from calendar year 2014 to be utilized no later than April 1st, 2015. Number 14, in the Department of Public Property and Community Services, the permission for Charles Delco to carry over 5 vacation days from calendar year 2014 to be utilized no later than April 1st, 2015. And number 15, in the Board of Health, the permission for Mary Ellen Tango to carry over 5 vacation days from calendar year 2014 to be utilized no later than April 1st, 2015. Make a motion for the approval of the Personnel Committee report and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes on all, but no on 11.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
I'm going to vote no for 8, 11, and 12, and yes to the rest.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Thank you. I do have a short report for the 9th Ward, just a couple of updates. For everyone in 9th Ward, obviously, we're starting this pilot program with the automated truck, with the garbage collections and whatnot. I know there's a lot of questions on there. I still have a lot of questions, but I did get some questions cleared up with some of my conversations with DPW. But if anyone has any questions in the 9th Ward, feel free to give me a call, email me. Cell phone number is 908-986-6100, and I'll try to answer any questions that I can, and if I can, I'll definitely get you the answer to that question. Also, just want to bring people aware that we started with the stop signs on DeWitt Terrace. Right now, we installed a few weeks ago on DeWitt and Edgewood. Obviously, this is new to a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be running the stop signs. I know the cops been out there enforcing and warning folks, and I appreciate that, and the residents appreciate that as well. We do have the messaging boards out there, but also we're looking into installing LED signs on that intersection and possible Princeton Road as well when we get ready to install those. It's pretty dark in that area. We want to make sure that people know it's there and they get a chance to stop. We also are delaying the installation of the other 2 stop signs as well, just to give people some time to really get acclimated to the new, hey, I have to stop now, not go 50 miles per hour straight down DeWitt. So we're spacing it out, and then we'll move over to Orchard Terrace and get that taken care of. Also, one of the new things that I've been getting a lot of complaints about, and I've also been experiencing it, we seem to have a new group of people in the 9th Ward, or somewhere in the neighborhood. I don't know if this is actually 9th Ward, but it's a group of kids, and these are kids with modified vehicles. And they seem to like to hang out every evening between the hours of 11 to 5 a.m. in the morning. The problem is that these guys are starting to race on the weekends now on Orchard Terrace. They have loud mufflers. It's waking up people and waking up families. Again, I'm one of those people that are being woken up. So I heard the complaints. I'm speaking with the chief. I'm going to shoot him an email, and we're going to hopefully have a meeting and figure out how we're going to try to tackle this issue. I did reach out to the police chief, and he assured me he was going to send some guys out there past Friday and Saturday and try to hopefully catch these guys. We haven't had them in a while, but every year is something new. So we just have to stay on top of it and try to nip things in the back, as soon as possible. So also, I just want to, wish everyone a good luck. I want to wish Adam good luck. I'm going to miss you. He always outshine me with his speeches, with his reports. But Adam and I, we share a lot of the same issues. 9th and 10th Ward have the same issues. When I first came on, Adam and I, spent a lot of time together. He took me to the ropes, and we discussed a lot of the issues. We held multiple meetings with the police department. I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think we were at the point that we were annoying. But you know what? We care about our residents, and you know what? If we have to be annoying to get something done, then so be it. That's what we're going to have to be. That's my advice to you, Councilwoman-elect. So we could both be annoying in 2015. But I'm going to miss you, Adam. I'm still going to call you from time to time, and don't disappear. We live close to each other, so we'll see each other when we're walking our dog or something. You and Charlene. Sorry, I got to throw you in there. Also, Jimmy Moore, it's been definitely an interesting ride. You've been very helpful as well when I first came on as well. Being new to this whole scene, I appreciate your help and your insight in a lot of the issues as well. And lastly, Mayor Gabunka, again, being new to the political realm and being new to provide, as an individual providing a service to residents and figuring out issues, you have really been a person that I could really lean on for good advice. Not only advice, but just an individual that you can go personally and ask personal questions and whatnot, and definitely just get some real good, honest truth from. So not someone that was sugarcoated, just be very candid with them and with me and just tell me what it is. So I definitely gonna miss you. Again, I just want to thank you for all the time that you spent with me and helping me transition over to doing the duty as a council person, and I'm going to miss you. Thank you. I also want to give my condolences to Michelle Yamakaitis and her family. Her family will be definitely in my prayers, and also to Jimmy Moore as well. My condolences for your family as well with your loss.
Thank you, Councilman.
With that being said, I want to wish everyone and remind everyone, please be safe. This is a holiday where people get together, families get together, so please be safe on the road. So with that being said, have a great holiday and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kozinski?
Thank you very much, Council President. I'm going to try to be brief as I can. As you heard from Councilman Colibus and Councilman Medina, the garbage can issue, the garbage carts that are in our ward, came with a letter. Hopefully a mailed letter will be coming out soon to make sure everybody gets it. Any questions? As long as I'm still here, give me a holler, 908-463-9234. I'll do my best to get you the information, and if I can't get it for you, I'll sync you up with somebody that can get it for you. I would also like to send my condolences to Councilwoman Yamakaitis and Council President Moore for their losses, and I keep them in my prayers and thoughts. I also like to thank my fellow council persons for their kind comments and their kind words. Everything was reciprocal. I really do thank each and every one of you for every unique thing you gave to me and made me a better person from the different views that you opened my eyes to. So I appreciate all that very much. And to all the retirees, I'd like to give a big congratulations to as well, specifically Joe Rizzo, Chief Joe Rizzo. He was one of my first chair people. Oh, I was the first, it was one of my first committees where I was chairperson on fire, and it was great working with you. It truly was. I can say that the anxiety that I felt was quickly alleviated when I realized your competence. And your competence helped my anxiety, which then led to my competence. So the people of the city of Linden benefited from you twice over by you providing a good service and then helping me provide a good service. And I'm extremely proud of our working relationship, and you were a true value to the Linden residents, and I do call you a friend now, and I do appreciate that and everything you gave to me. For the folks that are leaving along with me, Council President Jimmy Moore, you always offered me an ear to my suggestions. And you took my issues very seriously, and for that I will always thank you, and the people of 10th Ward will thank you. I knew that you would not push me to the side with anything I brought to your attention, and that to me is immeasurable. Mayor Garbunka, I spent numerous hours, days and night here at City Hall, like he noted in my speech over there, but every time I stopped at the mayor's office, he was there, every time. 9 in the morning, 7 at night, 4 in the morning. Throw a dartboard at a clock, and he was there. And that's something that's immeasurable. That just speaks to public service 101. He's there. Not only that, but every time I stopped by, made time to talk and listen to my issues, where I knew sometimes these were issues he already knew about as 10th Ward councilman. But listened to me anyway, and listened to a new spin on it. And he gave me his 2 cents, and if we could work together to get something done, he did. And he was very frank. When he didn't think I was right, he made sure to tell me. And I told him, and we had some interesting conversations, but it never left the room. And that's something else I thank him for, and the people should thank him for. And as a councilman, I thank him for his service. As a resident, I truly thank him for his service, and I do thank him for our building friendship and guidance over these last few years. And to the people, I didn't get a chance to wish well to the new folks coming in. Council-elect George Alvarez, I'd like to wish you all the best. And we ran a very clean campaign against each other, and I thank you for that. Good luck. I'm here for you. I'm here for the city. And if I can ever be a help, just please let me know. Council-elect Monty Brooks, the few times we did speak, I can tell you're a man of class, a man of respect, and a man of dignity. And the people of the 4th Ward are going to benefit from you greatly. And my offer to help anytime I can doesn't end because my term ends. So please, you have my number. Call me if you ever need anything, okay? And Councilwoman-elect Hickey, I wish you the very best as well. We obviously have a very tide future coming up, and I look forward to helping you any way I can. For the residents of the 10th Ward, I'm going to begin dispersing her contact information as well with mine. So if you call me, you might hear her number, or you might see this other name. I want to make sure the transition's as smooth as possible and there's no hiccups, because there are some lingering issues with some individuals, and we're going to try and make this as smooth as possible. And as for Mayor-elect Armstead, I wish you all the best and luck, and if I can assist in any way moving the city forward, I will always be there. You're the leader of my city now. You're the person that's going to head where we go. You're the person. So if I can ever help in any way, please reach out and let me know. And I would also like to congratulate Mr. LaPlaca for his service. And my service pales in comparison to people like him, to like our veterans that we also honor in some resolutions that aren't here today. The reason I can provide these services is because people volunteer, because people join the military and fight for us, because people serve as officers and fire department individuals that give me the opportunity to be the tip of the iceberg. But there's so much more going on behind the scenes, and I want to thank everybody. And he's a great representation of all the volunteers out there that maybe don't get their day in the sun. So I would like to thank him and all those as well. So everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And I won't be going far, so if you see me, please say hello. And it's been an absolute pleasure, honor, and I can never thank you enough. Thank you, Mr. Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. You're very eloquent. I see a gentleman in the audience I know from a long time. Is it Tommy Cavalli? Thank you, Tommy, for coming out tonight. Honorable Mayor Kabunka, you have a report for us tonight?
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to be brief. I just want to offer my condolences to you and Councilwoman Yamakaitis on your loss. I'd also like to mention that the 6th Ward Councilman mentioned a $725,000 grant that we put in for Emma Place. Hopefully we could get that and give some relief to those residents around Emma and 14th Street that get flooded every time there's a severe storm. But I also have good news that there's also a grant which we received from the Fish and Wildlife through Rutgers University, and this is a done deal where we're getting $2.7 million for wetlands enhancement around Westbrook by the houses on Madison Street. The Rutgers University is going to start doing a study on how to alleviate flooding, and again, it's $2.7 million, which is going to make a major impact for the flooding issue in Tremley Point. So that's good news. Also, more good news is that we received $25,000 donation from Phillips 66 for a generator on our OEM building. Again, people are critical sometimes of the Bayway Refinery, but they have to realize that the Bayway Refinery is very generous to the city of Linden. Besides paying $14 million in taxes, they do donate considerable sums for causes that aid our city. And quickly, I was just able to look up the 2012 statistics, and they gave us $76,000 in 2012. And that's not counting the monies they give to the local charities or to the school board for various school projects. So think twice again when we start criticizing the Bayway Refinery. They're a great neighbor, and they cooperate and work closely with us. I'd also like to thank Chief Rizzo for his dedication in the fire department. Chief, you're going to be sorely missed. You were definitely the consummate professional, and anytime I came to the fire department with questions, you were there, and you made me look good. Thank you, Chief. Also, I have to congratulate Council President-elect Alvarez. You're going to be coming on board January 1st. George, good luck to you, and you know that if there's anything I could help you with, I'll be there. Okay. 4th Ward Councilman-elect Monty Brooks, welcome aboard. You're going to have a trying time sometimes, but I know you're capable of doing it. You're going to be moving into Derek's position, and I'm sure Derek will be there to let you in on the nuances of the 4th Ward. And again, my offer is available for you anytime you need it. And of course, Gretchen Hickey, 10th Ward Councilwoman, you're coming into a great ward. It's a ward that's been well represented through the previous years by Council President Moore, myself, Councilman Kaczynski, and I know you're going to do a great job, and looking forward to seeing a great 10th Ward under your leadership. And of course, Derek, as I've said before, I should say, shouldn't call you Derek, but we've been friends for over 20 years. But you know, Mayor-elect Derek Armstead, that you could call me anytime for any bit of advice or updates on what's going on in the city. I'm only a phone call away, and I wish you the best of luck for the next 4 years. And I guess that's the end of my report, and I just want to tell everybody I thank you for all the accolades you've given me tonight. It's a humbling experience, and I'll be around. I'll be around to help out, and I'm not going anywhere because the best days for the city of Linden is ahead of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. You've been a real gentleman, class act. Well, tonight we're going to move into resolutions, and bear with me here because it's 3 different versions of it. We're going to, public comments would be permitted for those specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions which have been prepared by the clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions on it. And before I ask anyone if they wish to remove a resolution from 426 to 464, and then we added a resolution 465, that's why I'm doing it in 3 parts, I would like to ask for a motion to remove resolution 2014-457 from consideration. Motion to remove.
Council President, I make a motion to remove 457.
Thank you.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. So now we'll move into the our regular resolutions, which are 426 to 464, and I ask members of the audience if they wish to remove any on my right. Pat Hero? 434? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. 447? 451? 464, correct? Okay. In the center, Ms. Malik? 443? 447? 460? And 464. On my left? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion on the remainder.
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the approval of resolutions with the exception of 434, 443, 447, 451, 460, 464, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes on all, with the exception of 436, I abstain.
Medina?
Yes, with the exception of 434 and 447.
And you vote, Mr.
Oh,
Medina?
I'm sorry.
Voting no one or abstaining?
I apologize about that.
Kaczynski?
Yes to all with the exception of 2014-450, in which I abstain.
And Mr. Moore?
Yes. So, I would like to ask Ms. Hero to come up and speak on 434.
This is getting a little, Pat Hero, Chief Road. Might be getting a little old for me, and I suspect it's getting a little old for you, but we have some new people in the audience that are going to be up there, I guess, next month. And so this is regarding the McManaman, Scotland, and Bauman redevelopment matters, additional funds needed. And now it's come up to $183,932.84. Which is why government doesn't belong in the redevelopment business, but what exactly is the matter that we're talking about here that we need additional funding for?
Ms. Chair, these are the matters that have been ongoing, Morningstar and Southwood Avenue, and also they are assisting in the redevelopment down with Goodman-Bircher project on Lower Road, Temeray Point, and land use matters down there.
Okay, is this like, I mean, I understand with the Morningstar and the Southwood Avenue, but what is the nature of the last one you were saying?
That was the DuPont ISP matters, which have all been resolved and concluded. We are entering into development agreements with Goodman-Bircher and Linden Property Holdings regarding the redevelopment of that land down there. The owners are going to be redeveloping it. There's road access issues, including a proposed construction of a bridge, access of land to have a public road put in there. Right now, that road is a private road, so there are various matters that have to be resolved, including some negotiations with the Turnpike Authority, the Linden Roselle Storage Authority, and some matters relating to condemnation to acquire some parcels that no one really knows who owns, so that we could put the road in there to allow access to that area.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for Resolution 434 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midichinko?
Yes.
Medina?
No.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 443, Ms. Malik?
I just received my new dumpster, and I'll have to call it a dumpster for the amount of trash that I actually put in during the course of the week. But for the $178,000, what wards will now be getting their green monsters?
Mr. Alan McDonald, could you help us with that question?
The next wards that are slated to receive these cans are the 5th Ward, on portions of the 1st Ward, and depending on how many we're actually collecting per day, possibly into the 2nd at that time. But eventually, what we're hoping for is the entire city. This obviously will not cover that, but that's the next step. Actually, this amount covers the equivalent of what would be around 2 wards worth of houses. Okay?
Thank you, sir. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the approval of Resolution 443 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midichinko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 447, Pat Hero?
Okay, this involves the employee inducement to waive health benefits for 2014 in the amount of $5,000. Am I wrong, or I thought it was, last time it was $4,000. Am I wrong on this?
Ms. Zak?
The state of New Jersey had come up with a formulary that each municipality had to follow. So based on the formulary under the new state statute, this is what we offered our employees.
I think this is why we're having problems with the New Jersey state government, in that they're now asking people taxpayers to fork out more money instead of less money. Maybe Christie should get a letter from me.
Also on 447, Ms. Malik?
How many employees have in the past accepted this, and how many have not accepted this $5,000 incentive?
There's about 15 employees that participated.
You said
That-
50 or 15?
15 that actually get the compensation. There's other employees that waive it, but if their spouse is in the same type of plan, they get no compensation for it. So if we have a husband and wife that works for the city, they don't get any type of waiver. But if their spouse works outside of the city and has other insurance, they're entitled to take the waiver, so we wouldn't have to supply the insurance.
Okay, so for dual families within the city, there's no...
No compensation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the acceptance of Resolution 447, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Before I vote, just want to make a comment on that. I don't believe in this. In the real world, this doesn't exist. If you have insurance under your spouse, you get nothing. So this is just like a bonus check, and that's why I vote no on this. Thank you.
Kaczynski? Yes. Mr. Moore?
No. Number 451, Pat Hero.
Okay, this is in regard to the resolution expressing the appreciation of the city of Linden to Joseph L. LaPlaca for his volunteer efforts. Maybe the city of Linden, it's not only the city of Linden that appreciates Mr. LaPlaca's volunteer efforts, I do too, and I'm sure many other people that have been the recipient of his volunteer efforts do. It's not only the fact that he's been a loyal and faithful member of the planning board, and the most informative one also. He has been extremely dedicated in his role on the planning board, and he has also been very dedicated in his role as Link's Food Bank. He is constantly working for the people of Linden who really need it, the ones who are really struggling, the ones that maybe you read about in the paper, you know, the ones who are working full-time jobs, and they're still having a hard time making ends meet. The ones we should all be concerned about, the ones who are falling on hard times. These are the people Mr. LaPlaca helps, and he does it, and he treats the people with dignity and respect. And this is the kind of man we need who volunteers for the city of Linden. We need more people like Mr. LaPlaca helping out with the city of Linden and the organizations that help the people of the city of Linden. And I want to say how much I appreciate him throughout the years. And I hope, like I said, I told him I hope he isn't retiring, because we don't want him to retire anytime soon. We want him to live a long, healthy, and volunteer full life. Thank you.
Thank you for those kind words. Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I do make a motion to accept Resolution 451, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, we need to digress for a moment and go back to 447 for Councilman Minichako.
Thank you, Council President. Yeah, I'd like to remove my yes vote from the minutes and abstain on that resolution.
Will you note that, please?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Malik on 460.
Can someone just give me an overview of what is forensic accounting services, and also what is the ongoing work that's totaling, going above the almost $20,000?
Mrs. Zach?
Yes, we engaged the service of McInerney back in February. They were assigned the task of reviewing all transactions, financial transactions dealing with the Union County Improvement Authority and Southwood Avenue on behalf of the City of Linden. The City of Linden had given $3.5 million to the Improvement Authority through a bond ordinance, through an authorization. There was some talk that the city may owe the Union County Improvement Authority additional monies. We hired the forensic accountant to basically review all transactions from 2002 to present and analyze all expenses made on behalf of the City of Linden. This is in regards to the $1 million that is being right now presently held in escrow City of Linden received the title so that we could move forward with Southwood Avenue, but there was a pending resolution that was passed by the governing body that once we completed the forensic accountant review of the records, we may additionally have to pay the Improvement Authority a certain sum if we were proved that they spent more than the $3.5 million that we originally gave them. So this forensic accountant has been working on the records. It's been very time-consuming, and the original estimate was at $17.5, and it went over, it's estimated to be over by $2,000. That's what this resolution is, amending his original resolution for the $2,000.
And what was that $1 million? Because I thought that
$1 million is in escrow right now being held until this review is completed.
Right, and what's the chance that we'd get that $1 million back?
Again, the $1 million belongs to the city, but out of that $1 million, we may have to pay a portion to the Improvement Authority. But that's why we hired the forensic accountant.
A big portion, a little portion?
Right now, we're still waiting for the report to be finalized and to go through the exact numbers, so.
Okay,
We're
thank you.
hoping it'll be a very small number, if anything.
And when do you think that this may be concluded? And what kind of time frame?
Hopefully by the end of January, I would think.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the approval of Resolution 460 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 464, Pat Hero, please.
Where is ETI Management located?
Mr. Mayor?
That's in the city of Cranford.
Okay, and who are the principals behind it? I mean, what kind of, presumably, are they like an executive search firm?
Joe Harnett is a business administrator. He's been in the business 30 years. He retired from being a business administrator in Cranford and in Montclair, and I believe he might have been even in Rawway. And now he runs his own consulting firm. And since the business administrator is the extremely important position, I think it will be the most important position this governing body is ever going to appoint, we want to make sure we get it right the first time. And that's why we decided to hire him for a small sum of $5,200 to select and recruit business administrators so that we know we got quality business administrator. None of us, including myself, have the expertise to know what's a quality business administrator. He's been in the business. He's going to be recruiting. Again, he's expecting about 50 business administrators when we put out the request for business administrators. He will interview each of them. He'll present 3 to 5 business administrators to the mayor. The mayor will make a decision, and council will either approve or disapprove of it.
Okay. Personally, I would like to see no one who's been politically affiliated or holding political office to be brought before the governing body, but that's just my thoughts on the matter.
Well, that's exactly why we want an expert and not somebody for political patronage.
Being on a committee from the beginning, the biggest thing we had was to make sure to get someone who was not biased at all. And we've had all people come up, and this is the end of the whole process. But Mr. Arnett, his qualifications is very high. And all he's doing is culling all these people who were coming in. He has no connection with us here, but he's going to pick out, like the mayor said, 4 or 5 people. Because like, we talked about this. There's no one, I don't even think, in the city of Linden here who could do that without being biased. I don't think anyone on the council could do that. They don't have the expertise. But it's a very low price. I met Mr. Arnett before. Like I said, I taught in Cranford for 30-something years, and I met him, whatever it was, in functions. And I believe he's a great man, a good man for the job, and like the mayor said, this is a very important thing, and let him do the hard work, and we'll pick out the others. But I just wanted to mention that, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, I have a comment on the business, and I'd like Ms. Malik to come up first.
So you answered my question about who was going to be working with him. So who's on this special committee? For
John
this?
Langland is the chairman.
With the committee.
I believe Mr. Miliano, is he still on?
Yeah, John Miliano was on the committee, Bob Frazier is on the committee,
Good.
I was on the committee, Council President Moore was on the committee, Councilwoman Yamikaitis, and Councilman Sadowski.
Good, okay. And then what type of salary range are we looking at for this position?
To be determined.
We have it, Council President.
Councilwoman Cosby Hurley.
There's a range that we established several months, actually last year, we set the salary up. The treasurer can tell you exactly what it is, but the
Some
salary,
range?
no more than, I believe, 180
180?
is the
Okay.
max, I think, and that's the max. But we also budgeted for an assistant in the event that whoever our business administrator is determines that they need an assistant business administrator. So, I mean, it's already budgeted for the position, and in the event that there's going to be, an assistant.
So we're going to have an administrator and an assistant. Is the assistant more on secretarial services?
An
Okay.
assistant would be like the man two or woman two for the position.
So we'll have both the administrator and an assistant? Or
An
so you said-
assistant business administrator.
Yeah.
We've budgeted for 2 positions.
Okay, at the 180,000, or the 180,000 is just for the administrator?
That's the maximum. Alexis, can you give us if you have it,
No, but, just to clarify, is that for the 2 people or just for the administrator?
the max for the administrator is up to 180, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and then for both of them, the max?
Right now, the salary ordinance, I don't have it on me, but I know in the budget for 2014, we budgeted for salary and wages, $290,000. The largest component, obviously, was going to be the business administrator. The committee also recommended 2 positions, the second in command and a support staff. So those 3 positions were budgeted at the total of $290,000. If you want to give me a call tomorrow, I can give you the exact min and max. I don't seem to have that particular ordinance on me right now.
Good, thank you.
And also, can
The
I just
committee,
say-
excuse me, the committee that was formed, we have finished our business now. We did what we were supposed to do, we sent it in. Now, the process is of picking out a business administrator. So all those that were on the committee, we've done our due diligence, and now it's up to, I guess, the city later on to pick one.
And just,
Councilman Sadowski, you've been on the committee for, it seems like, about 15 years now.
Yeah, well, it was way back with, who am I thinking
The initial,
of? Yeah, with Paul Workmeister, way back when.
and the time frame for actually getting this person on board would be by the end of 2015, or
As quickly as possible.
quickly? Good.
If I had my way, we would have had one already.
Mm-hmm.
And in the ordinance, just to Ms. Hero's point, the ordinance clearly says that no one who is politically affiliated or holding political office or holding a political office could be a candidate. So this ordinance for me, with a resolution, I don't support it because I feel in my heart that we have employees here who are qualified, and I don't think that we should pay somebody who, just $5,000 so you can go through applications. We have a personnel department who I've spoken with, and she's confident that she could do this job, and that is her job, to review and bring in people. So I just don't agree with this one.
Good point. All right, thank you.
may I have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I make the motion for the approval of Resolution 464 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes?
Minichinko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. I had stated in the beginning that we do the resolutions in 3 parts. We added a resolution that's not on the agenda, but we have copies in the front. So, Mr. Clerk, would you read 2014-465?
Resolution 2014-465, requesting the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to approve the insertion of an item of revenue in the budget for year 2014 in the sum of $25,000, which is now available as revenue from Emergency Management Backup Generator Grant.
Comments? Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the acceptance of Resolution 2014-465, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Move it to ordinance on first reading. 5876.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $80,000 for the acquisition of an undedicated road adjacent to and abutting the properties identified on tax maps as Block 587, lots 19, 20, and 21, for the public use for the City of Linden, and authorizing the issuance of $76,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the appropriations.
This is the time for the public to give us guidance on this. Any members of the public wish to comment? Please come up. Comments? No questions?
Just as a comment, but it says here, acquisition of an undedicated road adjacent. So I find that kind of odd, like undedicated road.
Council President, I
just
think I
maybe
could
just-
answer that.
Under our,
Question, but it just
we
the
understand.
wording here just leaves kind of peculiar, that,
okay.
that wording there.
We'll certainly aware of that, and we'll take care of that when it comes up for a vote next month. But thank you for that input. Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for an introduction of ordinance 5876 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minurchenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5877, please.
Ordinance of the City of Linden adopting a supplemental redevelopment plan for the social justice complex within the St. George Avenue redevelopment area, Phase 2, pursuant to NJSA 40A:12A-7.
Public comments only, please. Pat Hero.
It's ironic that we are going to be, at the end of this evening, losing a tremendous amount of revenue to the city with the turning off of the red light cameras. So I'm wondering about the wisdom of this right now. Yes, the mayor has talked about all the great new development that's coming down the pike, but we don't have it yet, and we don't have the revenues yet. So I'm not sure that we should be thinking about this right now. This might be something down the road we might want to consider, perhaps. I still want to read a copy of the resolution, the ordinance rather, but not right now. Once I get a copy of the ordinance, I'll be better able to talk about this. But I don't think that this is quite what the city of Linden needs right now, this year, at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion, please. I'm sorry, Ms. Malik, and then Mr. Sharpie, and then we get this.
Mr. Sharpie, 315 Second Avenue in Linden. No, this is a good idea. The money's already here for the Justice Center, and it's moving Linden forward. And as for the lights going off, this way we have more police officers doing their job, you know. We got video cameras in all the cars and everything like that, so, and this Justice Center is just what Linden needs, and so does Roselle, and, you know, no objections to it from me, you know, so it's moving forward, and that's what we want to do, is move forward here in Linden, okay? This money, the money is here for this. There's also a monorail going through here, you know, so we're going to move Linden forward.
Thank you. Little side deal there. Ms. Williams, did you have your hand up?
Good afternoon, everyone. Jacqueline Williams, 8th Ward. I'm not going to say whether or not I'm for or against the project. I just want to simply suggest to the City Council that before you do anything, to please obtain a feasibility study and a sustainability study. That way you'll make sure that you're moving forward in the most economical and responsible manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Malik?
If I wanted to get the dollar value for this, I assume I can go to someone and find out what kind of costs we're talking about. I know you can't answer a question, but I assume that these numbers are, no, okay.
Motion, please.
Yes, Council President. I move for introduction of ordinance 5877 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colibus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Before I vote yes, I'm going to say that this is simply paperwork. It's paperwork, and it's on the first reading. There's no funding associated with this. It's for the future. So we need to have the proper paperwork, so when we do finally get the funding, then we can move forward, and we already have our redevelopment plan in place to include a social justice complex. So yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Deputy Clerk, 5878, please.
An ordinance of the City of Linden authorizing the acquisition for public use of a temporary and permanent easement on, over, and across a portion of the real property identified on tax maps as Block 587, Lot 21, for the construction, public use, and maintenance of a vehicular and pedestrian bridge and raised roadway.
Public comments? Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I move for introduction of ordinance 58-78 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colibus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. If you will, 5879, please.
An ordinance of the City of Linden authorizing the acquisition for public use of a permanent easement on, over, and across a portion of real property identified on tax maps as Block 587, Lot 21, for the improvement, public use, and maintenance of a portion of Griselli Road.
Thank you. Public comments? Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I move for the introduction of ordinance 58-79 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colibus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5880, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 31 zoning as follows. Revised 31-20.26A1, clothing donation bins, general requirements.
Public comments? Motion?
Council President, I move for introduction on ordinance 58-80 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colibus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Move into comments from the members and public in attendance on city business only. If anybody didn't get a chance to sign in the sheets to speak at this time, please come up and sign in. And we'll start with Christopher Lukenda.
Thank you, Council President. Christopher Lukenda, Garfield Street in Linden. I first want to start off by offering my condolences to Councilwoman Yamakaitis on the loss of her mother. I I actually wrote stuff down this time. Since it's the end of the year, I just wanted to hand out a bunch of thank yous to our local politicians here who a lot of work goes unnoticed in public service. So I just wanted to begin with some congratulations, since I wasn't here last week, to Ms. Hickey and George Alvarez, and of course, Mayor-elect Derek Armstead. Congratulations. I look forward to working with you. And I want to take a moment, but the mayor left the room, but you know, the mayor and I have worked together for many years on many issues regarding the fire department, and we've always worked them out well. There he is. I appreciated your open door policy, Mr. Mayor. Although we haven't always seen eye to eye on many issues, we always seem to work them out in the end, and I appreciate that professionalism. You know, we've talked many times about the city, and I know your love for the city. It's as big as mine. So I hope and I wish and I know all your projects will come to fruition with our new mayor, and I look forward to that as well. So I offer, you know, you and Dorothy relaxation in your retirement. I know you have a couple trips planned, and enjoy them. You deserve it, so thank you. And to the council, like I said, you know, public service is a thankless job. You don't really get much kudos. You just get many complaints. You get phones ringing off the wall all hours of the night. Very few pats on the back, and I know what it's like. So thank you. You do your best, and we appreciate that. That's all we could ask. And if you don't do your best, you get elected out. So it gives you the initiative to do your best and work even harder. So thank you for all that you do on the council. The police department, chief isn't here, but captain, you know, I want to thank the police department for the work they do. I live in Linden. Times have definitely changed. Jobs have gotten more and more difficult. You deserve the best police department that you can get. This police department's been in the basement for as long as I could realize, you know, remember. So I wish you well with that, and I hope you get your staffing and the amount of men you need to continue. I also want to say thank you to the Public Works Department. These are vital departments within the city. Without them, we can't function. It's difficult with manpower issues. I know, speaking with Lou Scaldino and Frank McCucci, you know, their hands are tied on a lot of things, and they receive complaints and they take a few hits, but they're doing the best with what they have, and they're doing a pretty damn good job as far as I'm concerned. So thank you, Frank, and thank you, Lou. I don't want to leave out any. There's many departments within the city, and I thank all of them. They help this city function the way it should and move forward. So I don't want to leave anybody out or slight anybody from the health department or any other department. But thank you. I live in this city, and I expect the best, and you are the best. So continue on, please. Thank you. One last thank you is to my fire chief, Joe Rizzo. Congratulations on your retirement. I believe it's 36 years. We've had our back and forths as well. He's the fire chief, I'm the union official, so you can imagine. But again, you've been very diligent. I appreciate your open door policy. I wish you well in the future. Enjoy your retirement. We solved many issues together. We butted heads, but in the end, we did pretty good, and thank you. So to everyone else, I just say happy holidays, happy Hanukkah begins tonight, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and all the retirees, good health, and as us Polish people say, stolat. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'll ask Paul Sharpie to come up.
Mr. Moore, I'd like to offer my condolences, and also to Michelle. her mother, loss of her mother. I used to work with her mother for quite a few years over at the Board of Education, and I'll miss her. But I know she's in a good place with God and all the angels and saints up in heaven. And as for the city, Mayor Kabunka, you served this city for eight great years, you know, and you should be proud of your service. Adam, you too, you know, it's the name of the game. You know, 4 years is not enough to get anything done. And who else was there? Congratulations. And Mr. Moore, I've worked very
Thank you for
well
all
with
those
you.
phone calls I get to.
I've worked very well with you. And I like your open door policy as council president. And, you know, it's the name of the game. 4 years is not enough. You know, 8 years. And the way the world is today and to move this city forward, it had to be done. You know, it took a lot of effort, a lot of footwork, and now it's on to the future. There's great things ahead for Linden. And I hope with the new council, congratulations. And I don't know where he went, but we're going to move the city forward. Derek, the first year is going to be rough, but after that, the city is going to be developing here. It's going to look nice. But there's two more things that we need. We need a parking authority, and we also need to move our schools forward. And with a parking authority, we can't have a new school over there. That building's been vacant. And we want to move the city forward. We want the best education, and we want the best city. And the things are there. And to all of you, happy Hanukkah. We started tonight. And let's move this city forward. We work as one great city. All the taxpayers and all the residents, you know, it'll happen. Through God, and the city will move forward. And let's hope that we all work together, neighbor to neighbor. You know, God put us all here for a reason, and I'm sure we'll move forward. And that's what I have to say to them. And Chief, I'm sorry. I missed you. And if there's anyone else that is retiring, thanks for your great years of service here in the city. And I work well with all of you. And I want to volunteer my life, the rest of my life, to this city too, and making it move forward. You have any questions? Don't be afraid to ask me either.
Thank you, Mr. Sharby. Jacqueline Williams.
Good evening again to the members of the City Council, Mayor, Council President. I guess it's official to say, or appropriate to say, Mayor-elect Derek Armstead. Before I get into my acknowledgments, I just wanted to state the reason that I came here tonight. I had an issue with the parking machines, and I just wanted to know who can I send my request to get reimbursements for charges that were assessed to me when they should not have been. There's an issue where the machine was charging both my bank account and my credit union account, some taking the $5 out on the same day. There were some charges where it was supposed to have been canceled, or in some instances where my card was said to have been declined or not recognized, and the money was still taken out of my account. I had intended to bring in copies of my bank statement and my credit union statement to show you, but unfortunately my printer kept spooling and I couldn't get the document printed out in time, so I'll try my best to get it to you tomorrow. But I just wanted to know who can I submit that to, because when I reached out to the financial institutions, they suggested that I contact the city first to see if it could be resolved. If not, then I would have to file fraud claims, which I really don't want to have to go through that.
Councilwoman?
I think before you came in, you had an issue and you were directed to Tyrone Givens, Transportation and Parking.
That was previously, like back last year.
Yeah, he's the same guy. You would call Transportation and Parking. Jennifer, you got his number on that paper?
Was it public property?
It's transportation and parking, and Tyrone is, I mean, I'm
Okay.
sure he'll work with you. And if you can't print, then feel free to email him. Like if you PDF your document. I'm not guaranteeing you anything, but he's the person that you need to deal with.
Okay, thank you so much.
And she's gonna write the number down for you.
All right, thank you so much. The other thing that I would like to do at this time before I take my seat is to basically give my acknowledgement and my thank you, beginning with the mayor. On a professional note, you definitely have served this city well. You did the best you could with what you had. I can certainly say for myself personally that I have learned a lot from you. And I thank you and I wish you well. I wish you all the best in your retirement and good luck with everything for you in the future. To Michelle Yamakaitis and Mr. Moore, Council President Moore, I had no idea of your losses because I was out of town myself. I just got finished burying my grandmother. So I do want to give you my condolences and wish you and your families the very best. And if there's anything that I can do for you, you have my number. On another note, on a happier note, well, happy but sad. I know it's happy for you, sad for me that you're going to be leaving us. But I do want to wish you the very best, and I definitely want to give my sincere thanks to your wife for allowing me to call your home at all times of day and night and interrupting your family time so that I can discuss my issues with you. So thank you so much. I won't call her Mrs. Moore because she gets upset about that, Paula. Thank you so much. And I wish you two the very best. Congratulations to Mr. LaPlaca, my fellow planning board member, for his recognition for the good work that he has done on the planning board. I can tell you that he is a great man and he gives great guidance to all of us who have worked with him. And finally, congratulations and best wishes to all who are retiring. We will sincerely miss you. For Mayor-elect Armstead, I wish you the very best, and you now have an opportunity to put your stamp on Linden and set forth the legacy for yourself and what you would like to see for this city. And I sincerely and truly wish you the best and congratulate you.
Thank you for those comments. I'd like to ask Jay Roman to come up.
Always with visual aids. John Roman, Summit Street. I would like to start by saying shop at ShopRite. And to the outgoing administration, thanks for your efforts. I know my thanks isn't needed because every politician starts out to do good for the people who voted them in. And in the end, only compromises the policies that they started out with. My examples are, don't put your grass clippings in the gutter, but it's okay to put your leaves in the gutter. What happens? They both clog up the sewer drains. Another reason, trash day. Allow people to pick through the trash, take the metals out of the trash, hoping that it's going to reduce what the city has to pick up, but yet complain about the money making metals that are missing from the trash. I'm sure these policies have been made years ago. And they keep the longest amount of time and doing nothing about it. They watch the dollars but forget about the cents. And this is only my opinion, because you know opinions are like other things. Everybody has one. This is how I feel about certain voters in the city of Linden. I can only say good luck to the new administration of the city of Linden. You're going to need it, because as of midnight, you lose a major contributor, red light cameras. I believe they contributed $1.2 million. Talk about starting in a hole, Mr. Armstead. You thought the target on your back was a big one. Now it's even bigger. So here's a little reminder of what bigger target you are. Okay? Just, it's a reminder, so please hang it somewhere where you can see it, to remind you to do a good job for the city of Linden, and remind you also that there are people that are out there to get you, okay? Also, in closing, just let me say to a man I went to school with, 7th Ward's Michael Minichenko, it's not going to be easy. Knowing where Puerto Rico was in Mr. Simpson's 5th grade class just isn't going to get it done today, okay? And in closing, let me say good luck to you, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Pat Hero?
First, I want to express my condolences to you, Mr. Moore, on the loss of your mother-in-law, and also to your wife on the loss of her mother. And I'd also want to express my condolences to Michelle Yamakaitis on the loss of her mother. Having lost my mother several years ago, it's a very, very difficult thing, and especially difficult around the holidays. So my prayers and thoughts are with you at this time. I want to wish a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, a great Kwanzaa, and a Happy New Year to everybody on the council and to the people listening in the city of Linden. Hopefully we'll have a better New Year than this one was. It's been a difficult one in many ways. It seems strange tonight that we're losing the red light cameras. It was a 5-year pilot project, and somehow, was it 5 years ago? The time just seems to go faster and faster the older I get. And it was 10 years ago that I first started coming to council meetings, and where I got to meet Mayor Grabunka. Of course, he was a mayor then. He was 10th Ward councilman, and it seems that ward has turned over more council people than any other ward in the city. And of course, you would think that Mayor Grabunka, after losing the election, would kind of kick back, lay back, and not really care that much. I guess that is a Mayor Grabunka style, because as you've been reading the papers, he's been very, very diligent about those red light cameras. And while we're on different sides in terms of the red light cameras, one cannot fault his dedication for what he believes is the city of Linden's benefit in fighting to keep those red light cameras, yes, even after he was not reelected. So I want to say how much I appreciate the dedication that he showed, even though we are on different sides of that issue. And I want to thank him for his years of service, both as a councilman and as a mayor. Yes, we sometimes did have different opinions, but he was always available. Whenever I called his office, I would always be able to speak to him about an issue that I had concerned about. So I want to thank him for his years of service. Council President Moore, I'd like to thank you for your 4 years of service. And also, I didn't know you when you were a councilman, but I appreciate the fact that you were a councilman too. I know it wasn't easy for you, and probably there are quite a few times you wanted to give it up, but I appreciate your persistence and your dedication to the people of the city of Linden. I know you cared a lot, and I know sometimes it was very difficult, but you did persevere, and that says a lot about your character, so thank you. I also want to thank Councilman Adam Kaczynski. He was personally very, very kind to me, and I never forget kindnesses done to me. He was very dedicated to the best interests of the city, and he really cared about the issues that faced the people of his ward. And if you know, I like you very much, but I'm particularly fond of your spouses. And I wanted to say a special note to Charlene Kaczynski. This woman is a rock star, really, among councilmen's wives. She's a really, really great person, and there are just certain people in your life that you meet that are very, very special. You think, gee, I wish I was a little bit more like that person. That's how I feel about Charlene Kaczynski. She's a great woman, Proverbs 31 woman, and I really do appreciate her service. Thank you. That wraps it up for tonight. I guess I could say to Santa that I would like a repeal of the garbage tax next year, but we'll see whether I get that brought to me or whether I will get coal in my stocking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Rashana Cosby Hurd.
Yeah, I just wanted to make mention of one thing that I forgot. There are a number of boards and commissions that are expiring at the end of this year and also at the end of June. And Mr. LaPlaca is no longer in his position. There are a lot of positions becoming available, and we need volunteers. So I'm just asking anyone who is available. The meetings usually are once a month. We need volunteers to serve on our boards, the Board of Health, and the Library Board has a new opening. The mayor's looking for someone to immediately appoint. The Cultural Committee needs members, and they're looking to appoint new officers. And the Linden Economic Development Corporation. And as we begin 2015 with a new mayor and new council members, I hope that some of the residents will step forward and put their best foot forward to help us help them here in the city that we all love. With that, I'm going to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah beginning tonight, Merry Christmas if you celebrate Kwanzaa, and Happy New Year. We are having a meeting on December 30th, so we'll be back for that. But I want to wish my baby sister a happy birthday, Kahira. That's it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mr. Henry Mack.
Mr. Mayor-elect, Mr. President-elect, members of City Council, and all members that has been elected. I come to you tonight on behalf of the peoples. I am very happy to appear tonight on behalf of the people because this past Sunday, I personally took the time to visit the nursing homes and to speak to the people. The people sent me down here to tell you honorable people. So I'm not going to go no further than that because they said just call them honorable and say that God said that all of y'all was born honorable. So I'm not going to get into honeycomb and anything other than what God said. All of you are born honorable. Mr. Adam, may I have permission, if you will, to refer to the Queen of the planet Earth, Mother of Civilization, sir? May I have your permission?
Sure.
Thank you. Mr. Adam, you and your queen that God has granted you with has did a fantastic job. You are the queen of the planet Earth, and the people told me to tell you that you are mother of civilization. They told me to tell you that because you're young, swift, and wise, that you may carry humanity forth to peoples. Watch the language that they say. I didn't say it, they said it. The peoples. Because you're young and you have supported a good guy. I remember when I first met him, he's a good guy. Mr. Mayor, what a good guy, you're a good guy. And all of you honorable people on this right. Mr. Mayor-elect, what a good day this is for us. Praise be to the creator of the heavens and the earth and the peoples. I wish Bud Simmons, my beloved brother, was here to look at this today. That one has moved up again. And I know Bud Simmons was a fighter for humanity across the state of New Jersey. Not in Roselle, not in Linden, but he was a fighter for the state of New Jersey. The peoples that have fought for us, Mr. Mayor-elect, feel hard, warm-hearted for you today. To the Chief of Police and the representative, the peoples told me to tell the Chief of Police, and I hope you would take this message to the Chief, if you will, that they are very pleased with the swift response and swift justice that your department has declared upon the peoples. We thank you, honorable peoples. Sarah, 36 years you did. May God bless you and heaven smile upon you. On behalf of the peoples, to Michelle Yanmatidis and along with you, Mr. Moore, the peoples told me to bring to y'all kind attention. You have that deep sympathy. They asked me to bring to your kind attention. You may not get over it, but we pray that you'll get through it. Watch the language. You might not get over it, but we pray that you will get through it. So there's no need for me to delay. I think everybody got my drift. We are very grateful for all of you, honorable peoples. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mack. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, December 30th, 2014 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, December 30th at 7 p.m. in the council chamber, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Reorganization meeting of 2015 council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, January 6, 2015, at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, January 6 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. I'll ask for adjournment for a motion. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead? Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, and good night.